So I have better luck with the display. So people who know me from my earlier work know that I did a lot with document management systems, and the specific situation there was that from the database side, we had an access based on commands that were complex structures driven by a database function, each like function for creating a new document with all associated data. So we didn't have to insert something directly into the database. We had commands for everything, which had the advantage that it could be replicated to distant locations with a different database unit. And that project was stopped end of February. And I started thinking by my own, what could we do better? Because in the late phase, the commands were quite complicated, a lot of them with each very specific approach. And I studied about event sourcing, which means instead of directly applying something into the database, you start just collecting events in the database, like creating a new document, creating a new folder, and so on. And that was apparently very similar to what we did before, but I enhanced that approach to be totally generic. So instead of having concrete tables like documents, folders, and whatever, I said I have types and items. And I designed now a system that is able to create a totally generic schema for any purpose. And I will show you the results of that in the database by now. So it can be read. So what you see is a test input for 15 events. In the event key table, you see what events that are. It's not important, we cannot go into details here, but they do exactly what I want to do. To be able to create a lot of testing data, I invented an extension for myself saying I do not create events for testing purpose, but I create event stories where I can have additional data to do that. So that's everything what I need as a source. And the whole story also includes derived data. So what I in fact only need is one table that is the event, but it makes sense to have more derived data to be faster if you want to really use it in practice. So the question is, what has that to do with Smalltalk? And the answer is, everything you see here is something I created from within Smalltalk. And why did I do that? I started to create an abstract type hierarchy. And the most important for my purpose is the abstract structure. And here you can see my custom types for this data management system, especially, for example, event does the following. I create everything I want. Okay, I create everything I want on the Smalltalk level based on the types, and everything outside is generated. The whole SQL you saw, even the functions you didn't see, and all the stuff is created. And I think that's a very impressive approach. It leads to also a situation where the same source creates the SQL, the documentation, and all other internal data I need. And that approach is something I will continue, hopefully, if I find the funding for what I really want to do to get out with a project on it. But the first results are satisfying for myself. Thanks for the attention.